Yeah, trying to decode what makes Faker Faker is such a mystery, right? Like, if I knew, I'd do it myself and I'd be a world champion. Hey, I'm Medic, and welcome to Ultimate List presented by Omen. Today we're going to go over some of the best plays from Worlds 2024 chosen by you, the fans. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see quite a lot of T1. Here we go, so let's have a look at the first play. Okay, I remember this one pretty darn clearly, I'm going to be honest. Because there's a moment in the middle of it as T1 start to advance. Oh wait, is this the right play? Am I thinking of a different one? Yeah, Knight goes in and then the TP comes in behind. Okay, so at this point, I'm like, it's done. BLG have won. Obvious. Knight misses the charm. I look at Kobe, I'm like, please Kobe, my voice is running out, save me. And he just says 5 lines and then Faker re-engages. And honestly, this is just Faker. You know, like he transcends not only League of Legends, but esports. And I was really hoping to try and capture that in this moment. I think I did an okay job, but it's one of those, it's just so out of left field for Faker to, he started doing this in game 4 and then to do it in game 5 as well. But yeah, like the moment that I almost died in this moment, in this fight was here. I look at Kobe, I'm like, please mate, please save me, I'm running out of breath. The TP comes in behind, and then as I hand it to Kobe, Faker immediately engages, and I'm like, I need it back, Kobe, please, please let me talk. And then it just goes out from there. But yeah, it's just the aura of Faker, really, isn't it? It's such a good play. I think, if we're going to rate this play, let's have a look. So I think we need to change this top tier into Faker tier. Then we can do T1 tier. Then it's BLG tier. And then down at the bottom is G2 tier. This has to be FlyQuest, right? Because they were above G2. If I'm going to rate this, I think the play itself is great. But I don't think it's a Faker tier level play, because I think it's more that BLG got too angsty in the team fight with the TP behind and with Knight flashing forward, and Faker then punished them. So it's a great punish, but it wasn't like Faker just made the play happen out of nothing. If that makes sense. It's not quite what was that Faker level. You could say this current T1 roster is the greatest roster I've ever casted, and I think that was a pretty easy statement to make. But I think the big statement is that this is the best roster that's ever existed in League of Legends. They've made 3 back-to-back finals. They've won 2 of them. They domestically perhaps don't succeed as much as they, could do. But it's still, in terms of international competition, the best we've ever seen in League. I really hope they stay together. I know there were some rumors about maybe Carrier retiring, but I think he's come out and said he's not going to do that anymore, which is... It's just a joy to watch some of these players play. I think Carrier is almost Mako-esque or Mad Life-esque in the way that he's defining how you have to play support right now. They have such a large influence on the game as a whole. Delight, one of my favorite supports to watch. I think he is the most consistent support in the world. You can see everyone looks for the engages here. Glacial Prison goes wide, right? And then... This is the moment. I remember I was backstage and we see this incredible engage from Delight, because it is beautiful. But it almost reminds me a little bit of that Faker engage we just watched where Knight just oversteps. If you're Gen.G in this situation, we're going to rewind this. But if you're Gen.G in this situation and you're trying to advance into the enemy team, my suggestion is you don't do it in Q flash range where all 5 of you are grouped up. This is the flash over the wall Zyra massive ultimate against G2, or the slicing maelstrom that ripped them apart. It's just a moment of due diligence that Gen.G forget that Hanwha Life punished them for, and rightly so, right? So I think overall it's one of those plays that looks really flashy and is very good, but isn't exceptional to the way that they have found the opportunity, or they've manufactured the opportunity themselves. Delight here is just jumping on the fact that the enemy team is massively out of position. I feel like this is going to be, it's a game-winning play, and he gets everyone in it. So I'm going to put it at BLG tier. I fear I may have to rename Fly and G2 tier, because I think people are going to assume this is bad, when actually it's not bad. They're just not quite T1 or BLG. I've given context. It's fine. I'm going to put it in Fly tier instead. I think it's a great play, but I don't think it was exceptional in its own right. I'm trying to remember this game. Semifinals I was off. Okay. Oh, this is the catch onto Faker. Oh, this moment. This moment for Faker as well must have just been such an incredible moment to watch, because 2017, Ruler catches out Faker, kills him, exactly the same position, Faker's on Karma, and the rest of T1 just collapses behind him. But what you see here is the immediate response, and obviously at the end, you know, Carrier's playing this really well. They managed to get the kill on Chovy as well. You can argue whether Chovy should have been trying to push up and take the fight. This scene here is almost a one-for-one snapshot of when Faker got caught in 2017, and he watched the game crumble away from him. So it was almost poetic symmetry between watching Faker fail at the final hurdle in 2017, and then here, seeing them almost fail again to Gen.G. I know the series would have been 2-2 after this, but seeing Faker get caught out in that moment and realizing that the rest of this T1 roster has grown to the position where without Faker they can survive. Because there was the time last year where Faker, was it last year, beginning of this year? Anyway, Faker subbed out because of his wrist injuries, and the rest of T1 collapsed. So even if it's just this microcosm of this one fight, seeing T1 be able to step up when their captain is dead is beautiful. It's what the game's all about. Oner catches 2. Hayes has cleanse flash, could have got out. Carrier then follows up. I actually think Carrier plays this really well. I know we're looking at Oner, and Oner does a good job, you know, hits the Impale, but Gen.G kind of step into him. For Oner on this play, I think it's another FlyQuest level play. I think Gen.G overextend into him to try and like clean up the fight. I think it's still a very good play, but it's not. I mean, I'll put it up here for the narrative. I'm giving it extra narrative points over the Hanwha Life one. Yeah, we'll give it BLG tier because it has the story behind it. I think the croissant moment is probably one of the most memorable moments across all of Worlds for most people.
Is good.
Just because, like, Guma kind of showed himself to be a personality the same way you look at, like, Bin as a personality or Faker to a degree as a personality. Faker is more, you know, about his skill that makes him this big name. But it's hard in that moment as a person in front of the camera to think of what is the best sell here, right? And I think Guma really showed that he knows how to entertain an audience in that moment, so I give it to the croissant. The fact that he shouted is good. The only thing that would have been better is if he said it in French. But I think that Guma moment will live on in memory. I hope it's in his skin as well. That would be really cool. All right, so this play from Elk is probably one of the best plays of Worlds. I mean, it definitely is one of the best plays of Worlds because it's already in here. But what Elk does in this moment is actually absurd. So the fight is really messy. Elk realizes, oh, we've only got a couple of people alive. Knight's really out of position because of how the Baron pit extends. And here, Shun is trying to put damage back down, but Peanut does a really good job of locking him up. So now Elk is very isolated from his team. The willingness to step forward here. Also, if you look at his damage on Viper, he perfectly times the W Akathian Rain to make sure he gets the Plasma Fox off. Then he's playing around Vision here with Zeka, almost gets away as well. It's actually absurd. He would have killed Peanut if it wasn't for the locket as well. So if we look back here, there's like a couple of very small things, right, that just happen. Where Elk dashes in with a supercharger, optimally uses the taunt to make sure he's getting as much damage down as possible. Peanut almost dies, but he gets a locket, right? But then here, Elk times him coming out of GA, lands the W, gets an auto Q off to make sure he has the damage. Oh, it's actually individually probably the best play at Worlds. It's every other play I think has a degree of you need the rest of the team to make it happen. Like we look at the HL Delights one, great engage, but if the rest of the team doesn't follow up, nothing happens. Baker's one is again, great engage on tonight, but if the rest of the team doesn't follow up, nothing happens. Even the Oner play, right, it's all about the team reacting. This is the individually best play I think we've seen. I'm gonna put it at Faker tier, because even though Elk isn't Faker, I think he is well on his way to being seen as one of the best AD carries in the world, especially since he has moved away from his Xiaomong days, which is like when he used to int quite a lot, and that was his previous name. So I think this is a Faker tier play. I think if this was in a finals, it wins you finals MVP just by making that individual play. I think Marsu has to be seen as the breakout star. He was the one who, coming in, I had like expectations of him because I watched LCS and he was good at MSI, but nothing to the degree that he was able to show here. Having a young rookie AD carry come in and have that much confidence against the best in the world is incredibly encouraging. And I'm sure that like there are other players that played better than him. Elk played better than Masu. But in terms of where expectation was for the player compared to where they performed, I think Masu has a huge delta there. I'm very, very excited to see what he can do in the next couple of years. Arrow goes wide and you're like, cool, not much ado about nothing. Faker, oh my god, it's just beautiful. It's so good, and like, it's one of those plays where I'm sure a lot of people could do this, right? Like, in terms of intricacies of the play, there's nothing spectacular. We look at it right here. I'm gonna get the exact time. So he predict ease on Rakan's W, which is cool, but I think he hits him no matter if he Ws or not because of the positioning, right? He steals away the quickness, gets the first charm, then Rocket Belt flashes onto the two carries, both of whom don't have flash, which he's timed, or someone in the team's timed. And then Carrier is immediately there for the follow-up. Zeus lands this great equalizer from quite far away as well. It's, in the moment, at this position of a game, it is truly otherworldly. Like, I say it in the cast, I'm like, Faker is not of this earth. It's not mechanically the most difficult play you've seen in your life, but it is mechanically hard, and it's in a clutch moment like this. Like, this is a Faker level play. I think that it shows the difference you can have in like these player defining plays where Faker's is purely a understanding of the game position and then mechanically solid, whereas Elk's is desperation, get yourself out of it, mechanically incredibly intensive, right? So I think this has to be a Faker level play. It is what wins them the game. It's what turns everything around in their favor. It's what gets them to silver scrapes. It's what gets them to a world title. It's just truly incredible. And we are very fortunate to live in a time when Faker plays like this. Yeah, trying to decode what makes Faker Faker is such a mystery, right? Like, if I knew, I'd do it myself and I'd be a world champion. Whenever I, like, watch interviews about him or watch, you know, the documentary that came out, it seems like it's just an all-consuming love of League of Legends, right? Everything he does, all the time he thinks, is about League of Legends and how to be best at it. And that sort of drive is what makes you the best at anything, right? Whenever you have someone that is super dominant in a space, it's because that space is all they think about. Alongside that, a willingness to change, I think, is really important. Faker showed this year with, he changed his mouse, he changed ergonomically how he sat on the chair, how he positioned to play his games. There's a love of the sport and a dedication to the sport that I think is still unmatched by most people. And I also think that we put a lot of weight on age at the start of esports, and I think now people are beginning to understand age matters less and less, right? Like, most studies show that you don't have a significant drop off in reaction speeds until your mid-30s anyway, assuming you train it properly. So Faker said that he's not going to retire just because he's 1-5, and I hope he doesn't, because I think it's quite easy. Like, you could see him playing for another 5-10 years at the highest level if he has the same dedication that he has right now. Do I have a favorite moment from Worlds this year? I mean, like, I cast the final, which it sounds so arrogant. I don't mean it to, but like that is the goal of most play-by-plays, if not all play-by-plays. Most casters, if not all casters, right? Is to get to have the privilege of being on that stage, and it's something I worked a long time for, and I think I did a really good job. So I think that's my favorite moment of Worlds, is hugging Sam and Betty after the cast and smiling, and then going and eating pasta in my room because I was too tired to go out to any of the parties. So, but yeah, it was just an amazing experience. I'm very lucky that I got to do it. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Ultimate List presented by Omen. I've been Medic. Let me know how I did in the comments. Do you think anyone was G2 tier? Do you think FlyQuest tier was too high? Who knows? I'll see you all later.